What's up? What's up? What's up, y'all? Well, we are here. Tonight was the premiere of The Real Housewives of Miami, season 6, I think. JB, you said you're not finished yet. Let me see. Was it season 6? Yeah, season 7. Season 7. So this was season 7, episode 1. Well, I appreciate you, JB. I appreciate you, JB. And yes, happy early birthday to Cajun. Y'all come on in, come on in, come on in. So let me say this. On a scale of 1 to 10, I think it was probably about an 8 or 9. I think it was a really good premiere. It was a really good premiere. JB, I don't want to spoil it for you. It's a really good premiere. Unfortunately, I have some thoughts. I have a lot to say about this first episode, so let's get into it. The episode starts off exactly what we expected it to start off. It starts off with Alexia and Todd, right? We see they start off with Alexia and Todd getting married. And then it says 2 years later, we see the headlines of Alexia and Todd filing for divorce. And we see, Alexia crying, saying she was blindsided. We see her talking to Marissa and Julia. Now, let me go on. I'm gonna go on order because I have a lot of thoughts on this Todd Alexia thing. So let me start from the beginning, and then I'll tell you how I feel. She told this very interesting story of her and Todd going out to dinner. She said, we went out to dinner. We went to the bar. We had drinks at the bar. We had a really good time. We went home that night. We had great, amazing sex. And the next morning, he moved out. Him and his daughter. Cleaned the house out while I was gone. She said he even took the shampoo out of the bathroom. She said that he had already started taking little things here and there. But he moved the whole thing out. She said, I should have known something was up because he was rushing me out of the house Saturday because I was supposed to be going out with Peter. I think that's her other son. And he was like, are you gone yet? Why aren't you gone yet? Why aren't you gone yet? And I should have known something was up. Then we saw her talking to Teresa Giudice on the phone. Giudice. Then we saw her talking to the girls. Because one thing Bravo was going to do, baby, Bravo is going to pick up a camera. Baby, listen, I know we complain a lot about how these shows are just not as authentic as they used to be. But baby, when real life go down, Bravo will pick up that camera. Baby, Bravo will pick up that camera. Do you hear me? So then we fast forward 5 months. Well, tell us the T. You said Alexia is a really evil person. I don't know if people know her T, but she deserves all the bad things. Well, tell me the T because I don't know the T. So tell me what it is. 5 months later, the season starts because remember this happened right after the reunion. Like literally right after the reunion aired is when this shit hit the fan. So Bravo filmed it. Her talking to the girls and they had this whole moment and let me tell you one thing. Audriana might get on my nerves, but baby, Audriana was on the end of that couch like, Baby, the way she was sitting on the end of that couch when Alexia was telling all the girls and they were all rallying around her, baby, Alexia was sitting on the end of that couch like, So then we get to 5 months later, and we see Alexia, Marisol, and Lisa linking up. First of all, Marisol looks so cute in that little brown outfit. Marisol, I like Marisol. I love Marisol's role on this show. She's technically a friend of, but I love it, right? She comes in, she gives her zingers, and she's there all the time, so she might as well be full time. But I think she's technically a friend of, but she's always there. But I think she likes her friend of role so that she doesn't have to do anything she doesn't want to do. She doesn't have to film if she doesn't want to. She doesn't have to really show a whole lot of her life that she doesn't want to show. You know what I mean? So I ain't mad at her, and I guess whatever check she getting is enough because she fine. We find out that Alexia and Todd are back hanging out. And they're not just hanging out. They're like having sex and going on vacation together. And Marisol says, so I hear, now mind you, Marisol and Alexia best friends. Girl, she said, I heard it I heard it through the grapevine. I saw it on the blogs that you were hanging out with Todd. Is it true? And Alexia was like, girl, yeah, girl, girl, yeah, girl. So here, now that I've gone through the whole story with y'all, can I tell y'all how I feel about this? I call bullshit on the whole thing. I call, as the kids say, cap. Okay? I think this was Alexia saving her job. Because last season, I know we kind of got a glimpse of trouble in paradise. And I do think there was trouble in paradise. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely think that things weren't necessarily going perfectly with Alexia and Todd. But I also believe that they gave us more scenes that Bravo just didn't show us. Because we all know that they film a lot more than what they show. So I believe that they probably filmed more of their marital issues that Bravo just didn't show, right? Hold on, let me see this tea. You don't remember her defending her son after he beat up a homeless person. She's one of those mothers that thinks everything she does is okay because he's her son. She was also a beer and then played victim. Okay. I got you, boo. I got you. She does defend her son. Now that she does do. She does do. All right. So I was like, I honestly believe that that's fake. Like, I just don't believe this storyline. And I'm going to tell you why. The timing is just too fucking convenient for me. Literally, we all know that Bravo makes personnel decisions after they are done filming for the season. And even though I think they gave us that storyline about them not getting along and things being bad, Bravo didn't really give us the full-fledged story. Alexia has no storyline, right? Last season, her storyline was trying to prove that Audriana's boyfriend was married or whatever the hell it was that she was trying to prove, and it just didn't land. Like, it just didn't land because a lot of people people like me by the end of the season felt like, girl, you just doing too much. Like, you paying way too much attention to everybody else's business. So I honestly think she was desperate to keep her job. She was desperate, and I just don't believe it. And then 5 months later, miraculously, now you and Todd are good. And this was the first clue that I felt like it was some bullshit. This was my first clue that this was some bullshit. The first clue was she kept adding to that story. Oh, well, we went out to dinner and we went and we ate and we had this amazing night and we had great sex. And the next morning he was rushing me out of the house. But you didn't say that at first. At first you were like, you stopped at that end that we had great sex and the next day he was gone. Then you came back and you told us how he cleaned out the house, but he was taking little stuff here and there. So you ain't noticed he was taking stuff out the house? I mean, I granted that y'all had a big house. I get that. Then she was like, and he did it in front of my son. I can't believe he did it in front of my son. First of all, stop acting like your son is, I understand he has a traumatic brain injury, but your son know how to pick up the phone. Your son knows how to text 911. Your son, you have trained him. We've seen him. You had him going to that life skills class last season. That boy know how to call you if there's something wrong. You mean to tell me that he saw Todd packing up that whole damn apartment, him and his daughter, and your child didn't call you and say, Mom, something's wrong, or 911? Like, you don't have a code that he could just put a code into the phone, like a 911, a help, a come back home? Like, come on, I don't believe it. I just don't believe it. That was the other thing that made me side eye the situation. He did that in front of your son, and how could he do that to Frankie? How could he do that to Frankie? Then you said, well, we have been talking every day after he left. We have been talking. And then next thing I know, I get a call from my attorney telling me he filed for divorce. Well, girl, if y'all wasn't talking about him moving out the house, well, what the hell were y'all talking about? How did he blindside you with a divorce after he blindsided you with moving out the house? And if y'all weren't talking about why he did it, what he did, and everything else, explain to me what were y'all talking about? Because let's be clear, if my husband moved out of the house while I was out visiting my son, he managed to do it in a couple of hours without me knowing. Like, y'all don't have no Ring camera on y'all phone. You don't have an alarm system that lets you know every time somebody open up their door and come in and out. Anyway, it's so many questions I have that at the end of the day, how did he blindside you with a divorce? Because what else were y'all talking about? Because let's be clear, there was nothing else for us to talk about. Absolutely nothing else that we're talking about. If you move out of the house after having sex with me and take me out like everything is all good, oh, hell no. We ain't talking about shit else. And then fast forward 5 months later, y'all are back hanging out, going on vacations that even your best friend claims she don't know nothing about. And your only response to Marisol is, but we're in love. I mean, I love Todd. And then Marisol says, oh, what's happening with the divorce? And your response is, we haven't talked about it. Girl, what the hell else are y'all talking about? I mean, I get the sex part. Fine. Put the sex on the side. But when before or after the sex happens, what are y'all talking about? Because again, there is nothing else me and you are discussing. I mean, y'all talking about the weather? Girl, what are y'all talking about? So I'm going to be honest and tell y'all I call bullshit on this whole storyline. Now, Chuck, that's a valid point too. Chuck said, I was thinking that maybe he needed to stall the divorce. Maybe he moved too fast, you think? Maybe his attorney sat him down and said, you ain't do this right. You gotta cross a T and dot a I. I don't know. I don't really know a lot about the divorce laws in the state of Florida, and I'm sure they had a prenup. I doubt very seriously that they didn't have a prenup. So I don't know. That could be a valid point too. But from the point of view of Alexia, Miss Billy Badass Alexia, I just don't. Girl, no. She needs his money. Well, she definitely wants to maintain her lifestyle. Absolutely. I get that. But it was just bullshit to me. I call bullshit on the storyline. Now, then we meet up with Lisa. Now, Lenny's fiance done dumped him. And I just feel like it couldn't happen to a nicer guy. Because let's be clear. Lisa is annoying as hell, and Lisa is insufferable. Okay? I applaud Lenny for staying married as long as he did to Lisa, because Lisa's annoying as hell. She's self-centered as hell. All of those things. But the way in which he went about divorcing Lisa, I felt was fucked up. And all of the things that he was doing to her, I felt was fucked up. Because again, at the end of the day, at one point in time, y'all did love each other. She is your wife. You have put her in this lifestyle where she wasn't working and she was living this crazy, ridiculous lifestyle. And literally because you came across a woman that made you know what get hard again, you really just wanted to throw her out, and her mama and the kids, and you really didn't give a damn. I just think the way in which he did it was wrong. Now, if he just wanted to divorce her, fine, like divorce her. That's fine. But it was the way in which he went about doing it that I think I just didn't like it. So you went out and tried to get you a younger model, and that woman probably used you up, probably took you for a lot of money. You probably paid for some surgery. You probably paid for some trips. She probably got a closet full of shit, a car in her driveway, all on your dime. And then she moved on to the next mark. You know what I'm saying? So, of course, the first question that Alexia and Marisol ask her is, so, how's Lenny? Like, did Lenny call? And she was like, yeah, Lenny wants me back. And they were like, well, I know you. Marisol was like, I know you're not thinking about it. I know you're not thinking about it. She was like, well, I mean, I do have kids to consider. And then Lisa starts laughing. She was like, I can't even keep it up anymore. She was like, no. Now, she was like, I'm joking. Now, I don't know if she's joking about Lenny wanting her back, or if she was or she was just talking about the part about her thinking about it. I don't know what part, but neither here nor there. Is what bald-headed guy? I don't know what you're talking about, Cajun. The kids he made her have because she didn't want children, child. See, Tiana, you must have been watching the show from the beginning. I didn't, so you know stuff I don't know about it, baby. So thank you for giving me this insight, because I don't know. I don't have all this background information. So, okay. So now come to find out, Lisa and Larsa are in a kerfuffle. Now, let me tell you, y'all know one thing that irritates my entire soul when it comes to these shows is people making me defend somebody that I don't like when it comes to these shows. Because y'all know I try to be fair and I try to see a situation outside of how I feel, okay? I don't really care about either one of these two. And so I really don't care about them arguing, okay? But Larsa and Marcus break up. Lisa and her new boyfriend, child, I forgot the boy name. Her new boyfriend are still cool with Marcus. That's really what it boils down to. They're still cool with Marcus. The guy, her new boyfriend, actually, likes hanging out with Marcus. Looks like they took a picture. They put it on Instagram. And Larsa got in her feelings because she was like, this man, Jody, thank you. This man not only broke up with me, but now he's threatening me. He's leaving me these nasty text messages. How could you still want to be cool with him? You hanging out with him, you going to parties with him. And, I called you to tell you how I felt about it. And your attitude was basically like, oh, well, that's on Jody. I wasn't at the party. And she said, Larsa asked me to unfollow him. And I'm like, girl, and they were like, well, have you? No, I mean, like her and Marcus break up every other week. Like, I can't keep back and forth with them just because they keep breaking up and getting back together. She was like, I might do something and we piss Marcus off, and then next week they be done made up. So let me say this about that. I'm gonna get into the bigger argument at the end of the episode. But let me be honest. Lisa, I remember a situation where Larsa just showed up at a party that Lenny was at. And you were like, well, did you say something to him? I mean, did you speak to him? I mean, and she was like, girl, like it was Formula One weekend in Miami. It was a lot of parties. We just saw him at the party. But I mean, I just want to know, did you speak to, so, like, I feel like, and then they said, well, you asked us to unfollow Lenny and we all did. Like, so you have to understand how Larsa feels, because she asked us to do the same thing you asked us to do. And in Lisa's mind, it's not the same, because me and Lenny were married and we have kids. Like, it's not the same. So I'm going to get to the bigger fight later on in this episode, but just know that that's what they're dealing with. Now, let me get over here to Martina and Julia. And once again, I have to tell you, oh, not much like your face. We are unmoved. Oh, my. You are cutting up in the chat. Yes, I love it. I love it. Woo, that was good. That was a good one. Again, I have to say this. I cannot stand people who only give part of a story just to try to sway people's opinion. Now, congratulations to Martina and to Julia, because they have not one baby, but they have two babies. Now, I feel like they're foster parents, because she said, I don't know if I don't know. She didn't get into the details, but I feel like maybe they're foster parents because she said, well, you know, it was last minute. We found out that there were 2 babies that needed a home. You know, I was in Moscow at the time. Martina was in Prague, and we had to hurry up and get home, and we didn't have a lot of time to set up. That doesn't, I mean, I know when you're going through an adoption, your name is on the list and stuff, but I've never adopted. So let me be clear. I've never adopted a baby. But does it go that fast for an adoption? Like, I know you get approved and you're on the list, but it just sounds more like a foster care situation to me. But y'all tell me, I don't know. And I'm not taking away from what happened because I think that's great. If they wanted a baby, they got a baby, especially after Martina went through cancer and she's 100% cancer free. So congratulations to her. I was just a little confusion. But Julia said that she had a Zoom call where she wanted to tell the ladies. I guess she wanted to let them know before it hit. But no, remember they took that they put a pause on the adoption when Martina got sick. So I don't know where they were in the process, but they said they had to put all of that on hold. And remember, there was even a scene where I felt like either at the reunion or something like that, where they said that they had to put that on pause. But again, it might be an adoption. It just seemed, again, I've never adopted, so I don't know how that process goes. Well, thank you, Kenya. I appreciate you, my love. Thank you for the support, boo. But again, I don't want to take away from that. So congratulations. It just seemed fast, but again, I don't know. So Gertie wasn't on the call. So Julia was like, so Martina said, well, all the girls on the call. She was like, well, all of them except, she said everybody was there. She said 6 of them were there. So I think Larsa, I feel like Larsa might not have been there and Gertie wasn't there. But I know Gertie wasn't there. So let's just focus on Gertie. See, Julia, this is the shit that I don't like because here's the part. You said, and this is the first episode, so y'all know how this stuff goes. We'll get deeper into the story as the season goes. But your story, the version of the story you told Martina was, yeah, this how I knew it was bullshit right here, because she said, well, yeah, I knew I was a little late. And I could see where Gertie was on the call, but then she dropped off of the call. And then by the time she called me back, asking for the link, because she was trying to get back on the call, my hands were full and I couldn't send it to her. Now, I knew it was something shady about that story when she told it. Because, see, I hate when people try to run past shit like that's not an important part of the story. The fact that you were late getting on the call, that's an important part of the story, Julia. Because contrary to what people think, the world does not revolve around you. If I set up a Zoom call at 7 o'clock and I don't get there till 7:15, 7:20, I don't know what else other people have going on. I don't know what else they've rearranged on their schedule to make it to my situation. So when Gertie told the story later on, Gertie was like, look, I had another call. She was late. I had to get to another call, but when I got off of that call, I tried to get back in and I couldn't get back in. And then she just told me, oh, well, you'll find out about it. Well, you missed it. I already made the announcement to the girls. You'll find out about it later. So what that says to me is, Julia, either you being real fucking petty or you already feel some kind of way. It's already something going on between you and Gertie. Because to me, it wasn't that deep. If I set up a Zoom call and somebody's late getting on the call or somebody couldn't make the call because, you know, life is life, right? I understand that this is a major thing in your life, but we're not going to, can we forget about the fact that Gertie literally is still in the process of going through cancer? She said she had 6 surgeries. 6 surgeries. 20-something rounds of radiation, however many rounds of chemo. She said she's had to have lipo. She said that it looked like it was her left breast still got some disfiguration going on, and she's going to probably have to have another surgery. Like, girl, Maybe she had a doctor's appointment. Maybe she had to get on the phone with one of her surgeons. Maybe it was her child's school. Let's not forget that Gertie runs a very successful party planning business. She's like one of the top party planners in the country, much less Miami. Girl, if you don't go sit your ass all the way down, like, congratulations to you and Martina. And I get it that this was something very important to you. But what we're not going to do is sit here and act like, we're not going to sit here and act like people don't have other shit going on. And she tried to come back. Both of y'all admitted that. She said she tried to get back in, and you said she tried to get back in the call. So I'm either you was already feeling some kind of way, or you really on some bullshit. Like, now Martina, it sounds like Martina is kind of like, you know, well, if she not happy, y'all know Martina takes shit in stride, child. But of course, Martina is, you know, leaning towards her partner, as she should. That's her wife. So of course she's going to, you know, side with her wife or whatever. All right. Now let's get to Lisa and Jody. I don't care nothing about what Lisa was talking about. Nothing. Lisa has moved into a rental that I believe is 6,000 square feet. And she had the nerve to say, yeah, this is great for me. This is perfect. I mean, because that White House was just too big. And Jody was like, girl, this is 6,000 square feet. And you have a deck that's however many square feet. Like, girl, sit your ass down. So then they talk about the kids and Lenny and how she's got 50-50 custody with Lenny now. And how, you know, how lonely she is when the kids aren't there. Yeah. And then, of course, they talk about the whole Larsa of it all. And she's pleading her case, basically making it seem like, you know, she don't understand why Larsa feel the way she feel because, you know, her and Marcus have broken up so many times. And, you know, what are they supposed to do? Because they're friends. Let me tell you something. I'm going to put a pin in that. I'm going to wait till we get to the end. Okay. Then we see Larsa with her mother, and we get Larsa's storyline with the Marcus of it all. So can I say something? I'm gonna wait till we get to this with the whole Lisa, because I really want to wait till we get to the Lisa argument with Larsa. But can I say something? Larsa, I don't care nothing about you and Marcus breaking up either, because I thought it was nasty to begin with. I felt like that boy was 40 years younger than you. You used to be your ex-husband was teammates with his daddy. I don't care how y'all slice it and dice it. I don't care how y'all flip it and dip it. You were married to that boy's daddy's co-worker. Let's take the NBA out of it. Let's take the sensationalism of Michael Jordan out of it. Your husband that you were married to for however many years and had 3 kids by worked with his daddy. And you met him. I ain't say that y'all was friends and hung out, but you met him at the family cookout when he was a kid. It's nasty, and I don't care how you slice it and dice it. So no, I don't have no sympathy that you said you found out that he wanted to shut the club down. Of course he wanted to shut the club down. He's 30 years old and he's rich. Of course he wants to shut the club down. That is what 30-year-old people do, rich or poor. Hell, when I was 30, I shut the club down and I ain't had no money. I wasn't sitting in no VIP. I wasn't getting no bottle service. But I was in the club till it closed. So that's supposed to have been, she talking about something. That was a red flag. What was the red flag about him being 30 years old wanting to shut the club down? And I don't even want to hear nothing about him doing drugs being a red flag either. Because let me tell you why. Girl, you knew that boy was getting high. And then, and let me tell you, you want to know why I know that she knew that boy was getting high? Because that boy, and I'm calling him a boy for the purposes of this conversation, because that boy got caught down to the south of France. I don't know if he was in the south of France, but he was out of the country, wide open, out in the open, in the middle of the day, with a spoon to his nose. He wasn't trying to hide it. He wasn't in a corner. He wasn't he wasn't under a blanket. That man was sitting at breakfast. I don't even want to imitate it because YouTube might flag my video, but y'all know what he did. Y'all saw the pictures. A person that's that bold, about partaking in their party favors, they're not hiding it from their girlfriend. The person that they live with, the person that they're with all day, every day, they're not hiding it. They're not. Now, if this were a situation where we didn't know nothing, like it was hidden, it was undercover, ma'am, you knew that's what that boy was doing. So I don't even have no sympathy for that, because you was cool with it until y'all ain't together. Now all of a sudden it was a red flag. You think? And I'm okay with you not putting his business out there, but don't act like, oh my gosh. Now let's get over here to Miss Gertie and Kiki. Baby, Kiki is down to the yacht, and she has her choice of yachts. Okay, she said that her ex-boyfriend is the president of the yacht club. So whenever she want to get on a yacht, she can get on a yacht. And let me tell you something, production being messy. Production gonna say, and he's your ex, and you just get to get on the yacht whenever you feel like it, baby. Gertie, Kiki hit her with the, yeah. Is that a problem? Like, is that weird or something? I said, I know that's right, Kiki. You better let them people know that just because y'all ain't together no more don't mean y'all can't still be cool, and he can't still look out for a sister. Shit. So Gertie, that's when Gertie lets us know that she's still not like cancer free. She's still going through everything, and she's had a lot of surgeries, a lot of chemo. She's gone through so many different things. And so we're going to continue to keep Gertie in a positive light and keep positive vibes going out to Gertie. Okay. Kiki said the guy she was dating, they're not together anymore because she found out that the man was cheating on her. She said she's also purchased a home in the last, since we filmed, she's purchased a home, and that her son has started college. So good for you, Kiki. You better keep using them Miami, Real Housewives of Miami checks and those Bravo checks and whatever other checks you've been picking up as a result of being on the show and your modeling and stuff like that. I ain't mad at you, Kiki. I ain't mad at you. But Gertie looks good, you guys. So then we see Audriana show up. Y'all, Audriana irritates my soul. It's so funny because I really love Miami, but I think I love Miami because they all get on my nerves at some point. Like, they all irritate. Like, it's something. They all get on my nerves at some point. You know what I'm saying? And my favorite isn't even back. I think she's going to come back later and film a few episodes. But Dr. Nicole is my girl. And, of course, we know she didn't come back. It looks like she's going to film. I think she's filmed a few episodes, they said. But between her dad passing away, and then we know she was pregnant, and she said she had really bad postpartum. So, I'm going to miss her, but I respect it. I definitely respect it. Oh yeah, listen, the way I want to be Dr. Nicole friend. I told her that in some of these reviews. I said, listen, I won't stalk you. I just want to hang out a little bit. Can I come down? Can you get me a pass onto the island? Because I tried to get on the island down there when I was down in Miami. I tried to sneak on the Star Island. You can't sneak on there. They got security that stop you at the gate. That's how I knew them people didn't sneak up on Diddy when they raided his house. Because even though you are the feds, you are the authorities, you gotta come through security. Somebody told Diddy they was on the way. Them people, Diddy knew them people was coming. Anyway, that's another conversation, child. That's another conversation, child. So, of course, Audriana's telling us that she got a new man, child. One thing about Audriana always keep two in the clip. Listen. And he's French, and he is a beauty. Like, I ain't gonna lie. When we met him later on in the episode, he is definitely a cutie patootie, okay? Yeah, Chuck, that is just not how I work down to the island. But yeah, can I get on the island? Can you just get me on the island, Nicole? I mean, girl, listen. I bring good beverages, okay? I'll even bring the good shit because I know I can't come half stepping. Baby, I bring the good shit, okay? Can I get an invitation to the island? But moving right along. That's pretty much because again, they talked about everything we already talked about. They talked about Alexia, and basically Alexia was like, "Look, I'm sorry. I'm not glad that I was right about this, but I was right about it, you know." So Alexia meets up with Larsa, and basically Alexia is telling Larsa, "Look, you and Lisa need to talk. Like, I hear what you're saying, and I 100% understand where you're coming from, but I just feel like y'all need to talk, girl. I just feel like y'all need to talk." And then that's when she, again, is telling Larsa that her and Todd are sleeping together and that, she love him. And let me say this about Alexia. And this is the last thing I'm going to say about Alexia because we about to get to the party. It's Jodi's birthday party, but I don't think Lisa knew it was Jodi's birthday party. Lisa thought it was Jodi. Lisa thought it was her party. But anyway, I feel like if Alexia wasn't one of those people that always telling somebody else what they need to do and how they, like, y'all remember how Alexia was coming at Lisa when they was down, where were they? Palm Springs or wherever the hell they were, when she found out Lenny had that girl in the house, and when she had to leave early. Y'all remember how she was coming at her? Like, Alexia be having big shit to say. And now that you in this situation, but I love him. But I love him. Really? You think Jodi is better looking than Audriana's man? I mean, y'all know at the end of the day, I'm not attracted to no white meat. Let me just be very clear. But I can appreciate a nice looking guy. And I think he's nice looking. I could not. Jodi, I would feel like I would feel dirty. Because Jodi I was going to say something that isn't appropriate for me to say. I'm going to go ahead and say it. Jodi looked like a twink to me. And so I would feel dirty. Gertie's husband is definitely a cutie. He's a cutie too. He's definitely a cutie. But yeah, Jodi. So we get to the party. Audriana's on time. Gertie shows up. I mean, Kiki's there. Kiki looked real cute. It's supposed to be like old Hollywood. I feel like Julia got it right. She looked like Julia. She looked like Pretty Woman. That dress. Remember when Julia Roberts wore that red dress with the pearls to the opera? I feel like that's what Julia had on. But Julia got it right. I feel like Lisa. That second outfit she changed into was very Marilyn Monroe-like. I feel like she was trying to do the whole Marilyn happy birthday, Mr. President moment. But her first look, it was cute, but I didn't see old Hollywood. Martina don't count. Gertie looked cute. It was giving me 60s modish, but she didn't go all the way there for me. Like, she didn't fully commit to it. Like, the dress was giving me 60s mod, but the hair, the makeup, she just didn't fully commit enough for me for it to be old Hollywood. I would say she was more inspired by old Hollywood than giving old Hollywood. What up, Nay? Remember that Alexia, also the same person who was married to that older man who was accused of being gay. Oh no, he wasn't accused of being gay. He very much was gay. Like it was that was very confirmed. But yeah. Um but Gertie, you looked a mess. Gertie, you looked a mess. From that bodysuit that was giving camel toe, and they said you were showing off your nipples. I didn't pay that much attention, but no. To that raggedy ass wig, I don't know what you were going for, but that was not the answer. That wig looked like it came straight out of Party City. Just no. Just no. Just absolutely not. Marisol was giving breakfast at Tiffany's with the outfit, with the hair, with the pearls. She was giving very breakfast at Tiffany's. Again, inspired by breakfast at Tiffany's is what I was getting. Inspired by. But Marisol looked cute. Child. Alexia was Alexia. Excuse me. And then Larsa shows up. And again, Larsa has on a pretty black dress. Maybe 80s Hollywood red carpet. I still didn't see old Hollywood. So then we have Lisa and Larsa. And again, I must be honest and tell y'all, I don't really give a fuck about either one of them because both of them irritate my soul. And I think both of them are narcissists. I think both of them think that the world revolves around them and that what's important to them should be important to everybody else. And I feel like the two of them were arguing about how important everything is to them. Larsa has a valid point. If you met him through us, you're supposed to be my best friend. And I didn't think it was too much for me to ask y'all, if you're supposed to be my friend, right? Lisa was too busy trying to get to her next outfit to change into to really be fully committed to the argument with Larsa. Now Larsa brought up a good point when she was like, look, I went to court and had to testify. I was under oath and had to testify in court for you. And at the very least, all I asked you to do was block the man and not hang out with him. Girl, I went to court and testified on your behalf. I don't think that what I'm asking is that serious. And of course, Lisa only saw it from her point of view, right? Now, something that Lisa said, not the old was Larsa's face. Baby, can I if on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, I get sick of the BBLs, baby, I'm so sick of these lip fillers on the Real Housewives of Miami. And I know there's lip fillers down to Atlanta too, because Kelly and them lip fillers are just a lot. Britt, a lot. Phaedra, a lot. But at the end of the day, it ain't, baby, down here to the Miami, these lip fillers are killing me. Do you hear me? They are doing too much. But something that Lisa said and Gertie co-signed, now, I got to give Gertie with a grain of salt because Gertie don't see it for Larsa. But something that Lisa said that I think has some validity to it, y'all. She said, baby, that first breakup wasn't real. She said, I left a real party for your fake breakup. Baby, when she said that, I said, now I left a real party for your fake breakup. Girl. But I feel like what they were saying was the first time when it was all in TMZ and it was all over the blogs that they broke up, I feel like Lisa was saying, girl, you know that shit wasn't real. And because, see, y'all know I hear stuff that maybe everybody else doesn't hear, and that's fine. But because y'all are friends the way y'all are friends, y'all call each other best friends. If Lisa is saying, girl, you know that shit wasn't no real breakup, I'm kind of listening, and I kind of believe Lisa. Now, ultimately, we know that they did end up really breaking up for real. And Larsa read off some text messages that Marcus sent her that were sort of bad. But again, knowing what we know now, the man is a drug addict. So he might have been on a coke binge sending you them texts. And I'm not saying that makes them any less of a threat. I'm not saying that makes it okay. But the man was probably on a little coke binge sending you all these text messages. Okay? Now, did y'all peep production? Y'all got to pay attention. Did y'all peep production? When that lady in that red dress was complaining about it being too hot, and Jody, the girl was like, where's the AC? And Jody said, back here in my room. And he went back in that room and closed the door with that lady by himself so they could get some air conditioning. Am I the only one that saw that? I need y'all to put it in the chat if y'all saw that. Am I the only one that saw Jody go back into that room with that lady that said it was too hot? And she needed some air, and he took her in that bedroom? Y'all ain't talking to me. Okay, I see it now. Okay, I see it now. Because I was like, hold on, y'all ain't talking to me. Okay, so we're going to put that over there to the side because y'all know production is shady. And I feel like there might be something to it. We're going to come back to that maybe later in a couple of episodes or something. But, baby, production show let us see. Baby, they show did. Now, Lisa and... So, again, Lisa and now, let's get the Gertie... What up, Uncle Jay? Hey, boo. Let's get the Gertie and the Martina and the Julia out the way. Baby, Gertie went over to talk to Martina and Julia, and she got the cold shoulder. And Gertie was like, okay, well, I'm clearly on the outs, and I'm not sure why. Because that was some fake ass, hey, how you doing? Okay, maybe that was some fake, hey. So she was like, what's really going on? And that's when we got the rest of the story where Gertie said, look, you were late getting on the call, and I had shit to do. But I tried to get back on the call, and then when I hit you up, you hit me with the, well, you'll find out from everybody else. So she said, I felt some kind of way about that, like damn. Now, again, if you were really my friend and you missed the call, I don't understand what the problem is. I don't understand what the problem is with you saying, girl, I'm sorry you missed the call, but I had some really good news. I'm going to call you and share it with you because, you know, I definitely want you to hear from me. Because, again, I don't think it's that deep unless there's already something going on. So, Julia, I need to know that you were already feeling some kind of way or something else was already going on. Now, we also know that Audriana and Julia are not as close either. So, right now, Julia, the common denominator is you. If you and Audriana aren't as cool and you and Gertie aren't as cool, the common denominator is you. Now, granted, you're a new mother. So maybe you just don't have time, and that's okay. But don't make it about everybody else. Don't put it on everybody else. But we're going to put a pin in that. We're going to come back around. Oops, somebody said that might be code word for powder. Oh, my. Oh, is that why Jody and Marcus are such good friends? Oops. Ooh, let me shut up. Let me shut up. Is that why they such good friends? Woo. Now, let's finish up this fight with Larsa and Lisa. Can I tell y'all something? By the end of this argument, if I'm being honest, and maybe it's because I don't care about neither one of these women from that perspective, but by the end of this argument, I felt like both of them was on some bullshit and it was performative, and I don't even know if I believe it at this point. Like the fact that Larsa left and then came back to argue some more. The fact that Lisa literally walked away from the argument to change into her second outfit. Like, I don't know, y'all. By the end of this episode, I was side-eye. And I hate to feel like I think all of the storylines are fake, because I don't want y'all to be like, damn, really, B, you think everything is fake? But it just didn't come off as, the argument just came off performative by the end of it. Well, don't call me a bitch. Well, don't call me this. Well, don't say that. And Larsa leaves and then comes back. And I'm sure production probably told her, girl, get back in there. And she turned around and went back. But it just, I don't know. What y'all think? Y'all tell me what y'all think, because I'm about to get off of here, because y'all know I got to get up in the morning, honey. Y'all know I must love y'all. I'm here late. Don't tell Scotty I was here after 11 o'clock. He's going to get mad. But it's only for this week and next week. Actually this week, because next Wednesday is the last day of school. So I said I'm going to thug it out for y'all this week. They were very exaggerated. Yeah, it just seemed like, I don't know. And do I think that there may be some legit, like Jody still wanting to be friends with Marcus, even though Marcus and Larsa are no longer together? I can believe that. I can see that. But I also feel like Lisa said, girl, I didn't go to the party. Like, Jody went to the party and hung out with Marcus, but I didn't go. And there were other people there at that party that Jody's friends with, not just Marcus. So I think Lisa's way of saying stuff is so dismissive that it gets lost. Like, even when she has a valid point, it gets lost in her personality. Anyway, I'm gonna be honest. For me, it was a good premiere. I thought it was a good premiere. I ain't saying I believed all the storylines and all of that, but I was definitely entertained. And as we see, it looks like we got some new people coming in. We know about the lady that used to date Nicole's boyfriend, fiance, husband, whatever the hell he is at this point. So we're definitely going to see that later on down the line. Alexia, girl, I don't believe nothing about this with you and Todd. You're going to have to give me something more for me to believe this bullshit, because it just don't make sense. It just don't sound right. And y'all know how I feel. Y'all know how I feel. If it don't make sense, y'all know I just can't believe it. If it doesn't make sense, it just ain't true. And that whole story you told, and let me tell you what doesn't make sense. If the story you told is true, which I don't believe it's all the way true. I don't think it's true. I think parts of it's true. But if the story you told is all the way true, it's no way in hell that you would have been talking to that man the next day. Not the way you was crying on these women's couches and talking about you can't believe he did that to you. He did that to you. And you mean to tell me that he moved out on Saturday? You mean to tell me that Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, y'all was talking on the phone, but y'all wasn't talking about divorce? She said, well, he was talking about going to therapy, and we were talking about counseling. And then next thing you know, you getting a message from your attorney talking about something he done filed for divorce. Girl, bye. Girl, bye. Anyway. But we about to get off of here, y'all. I appreciate y'all. Now, we do have the Whether You Like It or Not panel, Miami edition tomorrow. It's going to be at like 8 o'clock my time. But I also have an interview at 7 o'clock tomorrow my time with Dior, executive producer of a new web reality series called The Crew, or The Gang. The Gang. I'm sorry, I said the wrong name. The Gang. So we're going to talk to him for a little bit, and then we're going to go straight into Miami, okay? All right, y'all. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.